There we go. Now we're recording. I think it's your turn.
Is it my turn?
Why not?
I mean, now that we're back to a monthly schedule here, it's hard to
Yeah.
remember who did what, but yeah. So, welcome back, dear listener, to another thrilling, fun filled episode of the Blurring the Lines podcast. And yes, I went off script this time. Why? No reason. But this is episode 216. I am your host, Peter Nikolaidis, and joining me, as always, is my co host, Adam Bell.
Hey, Peter, how you doing? We're not going to do like a Sheldon Cooper and we still have to do it. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening.
Or good evening, and welcome to Fun with Flags.
Fun with flags.
No, no,
No.
Adam, we're not doing Fun with Flags.
Fine, Peter. That's just fine. How's it going?
It's going good. So before we started recording, I was playing a little bit of Leonard Skinner,
Yeah,
Freebird, just as
and
the riff part, and Adam had a comment on that.
yeah, I didn't think it played up there. I mean, I thought that, I mean, you had to be in the South to even get that radio to play.
Radio, he says. Well, as it happens, tomorrow I will be seeing Leonard Skinner live in concert.
Really?
They crossed the Mason-Dixon line. They came up here.
I don't believe it. You're coming south.
Oh no, no. Well,
Is it in
yeah, I'm
South
going.
Boston?
It's in southern Massachusetts, yes. So, but they're not alone.
Who's with them? 38 Special?
ZZ
Oh,
ZZ
ZZ
Top.
Oh,
Yes.
they're Texans.
Yeah. See, it doesn't get much more southern than that, man.
Are you going to walk away with an accent?
I don't know, but I'm trying to decide when I'm gonna get dressed up. Do I want to be a sharp dressed simple man, or how we're gonna do this?
Yeah, a sharp dressed simple man. You have
That,
a bib overalls and a tie.
well, that is the name of the concert tour. It's the Sharp Dressed Simple Man tour.
Oh, that's
So
fine.
yeah, I think I would just be a simply sharply dressed man. But anyway,
There you go. No, that's
anyway,
fun.
that's what I'm doing this weekend. How about you?
I'm actually somewhat surprised that you would even attend something like that. Not that you're like uppity. I just didn't think that was, you know, I didn't think that would be your genre.
I love me some guitar riffs,
Yeah,
and ZZ Top and I go way back.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't know who's opening for whom. They're touring together, so they probably alternate. So we'll see. But Skinner's got some good hits. I can name at least like four of their songs. And I expect that they're probably going to play all the hits that I
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet to go to this concert.
yeah. I can't say that. I mean, between the two of us, I mean, I wouldn't go. I don't think I'd go to a Leonard Skinner concert.
I did not. I bought tickets to a ZZ Top concert,
Ah,
and
there you
Leonard Skinner happens to be going there.
go. Okay, well that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, it's
cool.
great. If they open, then hey, Leonard Skinner open for ZZ Top. And if they're afterwards and I don't like it, then I can leave once ZZ Top is off the stage.
I think at that point you're going to already be sweaty. I think that they'll put on a fun show. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun no matter what. But it'll the crowd will be different there than it would be down here.
I don't know. We've got some people with a little bit of rouge in their neckline area in this part of the world too. So.
Yeah, yeah, and you mix in, take away the filter, no Southern hospitality, and
Oh. So what you're saying is like wear my bulletproof vest just in case.
no, I think it will be fun. That'll be a good
Uh,
one.
cool.
Maybe Tim the Toolman Taylor will be there. He's a big ZZ Top fan. Tim
Is he?
Allen.
Was not aware of that.
Yeah, he really is in. He's a big fan.
Good. Oh, maybe he will. I can't imagine why he would drive all the way to or fly all the way to Massachusetts to see them, but sure.
So, well, cool. Well, that's fun. So what else is new?
Let's see. Not a ton of other stuff other than I'll be taking a vacation soon.
All right.
That'll be
Going somewhere
fun.
fun?
So going somewhere fun. I think it's fun. Little country called Germany.
Oh yeah. That would be
So
cool. Yeah, it's funny. We
yeah.
met some people in the Seychelles, and uh, she was Austrian and he was German, and we told
Mhm.
him, we said, "Oh, well, cool. Those are both countries that we would like to visit." I said, yeah, I'd really like to see Germany. I mean, there's lots of history I'd like to see there, and and he was like, "Why?" Like, well, it's there's a lot to see there. He's like, "Oh, go to Austria. It's beautiful over there." like, like, all right, well, but it's all in, it's kind of like, hey, I want to come to Boston. You're like, okay. Come to Nashville. Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
That's the thing is like, like I don't feel like I have a lot to offer folks when I tell, like people, oh, you need to come see Germany, you need to come see Austria, you need to come see Switzerland, see the Alps.
Hmm.
But I'm like, yeah, you need to come to Boston. I don't know, man. It's like
Yeah.
I don't feel like I can make a compelling case.
Yeah, see, we came to Boston. We actually had a good time. We did follow the it's not is it the Constitutional Trail, or it's Freedom, or it's not the Freedom Trail, is it? But there's a trail through all the historical places up
Yeah.
there. We did that. We did
Yep.
the Boston Tea Party. They actually had a ship in the harbor and you could throw tea in the harbor, but no actual tea was harmed in the tea throwing, but it was fun. We did enjoy our
Fake
visit to
tea.
Boston. Yeah. It
Well,
was
was
like
it just decaffeinated or something?
no, I mean, it was like a box. It was like a prop box, and as if it were tea packed in there, and you threw it over the side, and then you took the rope and you pulled it back up so somebody else could throw it
Reel it
over the
back
side.
in.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, got it. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Mhm.
So, do we have any what other headlines do we have that we need to cover, or do we
Uh,
go right into our main topics?
yeah, we just got some, hot, yeah, I don't know. So I can, well, just kind of a headline or hot. So Tennessee determined that our franchise and excise tax on property was deemed as unconstitutional. Did I tell you that?
Yes, I do recall this.
Yeah. So they offered the refund, and so I contacted my CPA and I was like, okay, I need to get this scheduled. And he was like, oh, I'm busy. I'm not even going to fool with it till July. Like, okay, fair enough. I don't want to fool with it myself, but I would like to get the refund. And I was like, how much is this going to cost? And, all that. And he's like, that's a 20%. It's going to get 20% of the return. And I calculated that. I'm like, that's kind of steep because it's just $100 shy of what I pay for my annual return. And from what I understand, you just go in there and you amend it online, you change one line and you hit save and it's done. So I was like, well, I think I'm going to do this myself. But he's like, oh, well, it's free money. So, it's a fair fee. I'm like, just because it's free money doesn't mean you should get 20% of it. I mean,
I mean, apparently it does. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because had a similar thing happen. Now you may recall my father passed away recently, and
mm-hmm,
the attorney that he had hired had wisely 6 years ago told him to put the house into a trust with
mm-hmm,
me as the beneficiary. So when my father passed away, the house just became mine free and clear. Okay, wonderful.
mm-hmm,
He did not remember the vehicle.
mm-hmm.
Car was not part of the estate. And, I would have hoped that a good attorney would have caught that, knowing that my father was driving and stuff, or that, my father probably didn't think about it. And, maybe the attorney asked him, do you have any other assets? And my dad was on his default answer, no.
No, I don't.
And,
I have a car. I don't have any assets.
no assets, just a car. Right. Exactly. So I had to open an estate to get that to go through probate.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, so I did that and I opened the estate on my own, filed, filled out all the forms. It wasn't that hard. Um, got stuff sent up and okay, boom. Then I got this letter back from the court saying, okay, your estate has been created and you are now charged with, executing the will and dispensing with all the assets, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told by my lawyer that because the way the statute reads, when someone passes away, if there's a spouse and a surviving descendant, the certain assets are split equally. And so the car is currently, theoretically, jointly held with me and my mom.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. Now you may recall my mom has kind of paralyzed and can't drive and hasn't been able to for 9 years. So
Mm-hmm.
my attorney then told me that I needed to buy my mom's share of the car from her.
Okay.
Okay, fine, great. Well, I was talking to the Department of Motor Vehicles because I've had numerous back and forth emails, and my attorney apparently was on the phone with them trying to get things squared away. So I finally have all the court documents and everything all squared away. And so I called them up. I was like, all right, look, what do I need to do to get you all these things? So I had to fill out a new title replacement form, a new registration form. I had to provide them with documents showing that I'm the executor of the will, had to give them a copy of the will, had to give them paperwork showing that I'm my mom's fiduciary and, I have the guardianship over her and her finances. And then she says, yeah, you can just fill out this form. Your mom can just gift you the car. So you just need
Mm-hmm.
to give us, and so you can just fill out this exemption for sales tax form too. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay. So I filled that out. So hopefully everything will fly through. And when I get back from vacation, I'll have a new title and registration for my Vermont beater car when I get back.
Nice. Well, and I think in Tennessee, well, I think it's actually federal. I think you can gift somebody like a family. I don't know if it's limited to family. It
Hmm.
used to be $10,000 and there was no,
Yeah.
I mean, you could just gift it.
Yep.
But
And
I
this
don't,
is
I don't know what the number is.
the blue book on this car is like 4,000 some odd dollars and stuff. So I had to,
Yeah.
have to pay it for 2,000 or something and whatever. So
Hmm.
yeah. So hopefully that goes through and there you go.
Oh, well, that's, a few years ago, I gave my oldest daughter's car to carsforkids.com. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Uh, but they only they only registered that I gave them a $700 car. Like, I have a $3,000 catalytic converter that's brand new on that car.
Yeah, but once you insert it into a car, it just depreciates like mad. You wouldn't believe it.
Immediately.
You wouldn't believe it.
uh, so, cool. Well, glad to hear that.
Yeah, so maybe some progress to report. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Oh man.
Well, cool. Well, kind of I guess maybe it's not nifty yet. I am gonna wait until September, but I'm gonna get the iPhone 16 Pro.
Ooh, pro. Now, do you know what that means yet?
Um, doesn't it mean the same as it always meant in the Pro?
Well, I mean, we don't know what new
Oh,
features are going to be there and stuff.
okay. Well, I'm assuming a better camera and I'll be able to support the latest operating system that has the Apple AI, which I'm interested in that.
Mhm.
My 14 is still a good phone, but
Okay.
I'm going to pass it down to my daughter and I'm going to get the new one.
Speaking of phones, I have something not nifty.
Not nifty. Oh, I have a not nifty Apple Watch. Get when you do
Okay.
that. Go
Well,
ahead.
I have a not
I just did.
nifty
I didn't want to forget.
iPhone. Yeah, don't put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that.
Um, so a couple of months ago, almost a few months ago at this point, we traded in my girlfriend's sister's iPhone 11 to
Hmm.
get an $830 credit, uh,
Wow.
which went straight to a new iPhone 15 for her.
Wow. That's
Okay.
pretty good credit.
It is. Would have been nice if it was real. because just this. So we
Was
went
it
through the
was it an
hassle.
ethereal or something?
Ethereal credit. Well, first off, my monthly bill went up $5 because I'm no longer bringing my own device, because this was a phone given to us,
Hmm.
from Verizon. Second, had to pay sales tax on the transaction as if it was an $830 phone. Okay,
Uh-huh.
fine, I get that. Finally got the phone. There was an issue shipping it. They shipped it to the wrong place. I spent hours on the phone processing the order, hours on the phone trying to get it redirected in the right direction, get to the right address, yada yada yada. And of course, my girlfriend and her sister are very similar, so she waited until like the very last day to ship it back. But I did get there, and I'm getting
Hmm.
all these warning, hey, if we don't get this, you're going to be on the hook for it, ha ha
Hmm.
ha. And finally,
Ha
they
ha
did get it,
ha.
and I got a tracking number that shows that, yep, it's there.
Hmm.
Great. A couple weeks ago, I'm on the phone with another issue. I forget what it was. I had some kind of question regarding my wireless account, and the guy helps me out and says, yep, we can do that. And let's just take a look. And here's your new bill. And let's take a preview. And I preview it, and it says your new bill is going to be $1,035. And I was
Oh,
like, that's a lot.
yeah.
And they're like, I was like, wait, okay, so I'm a little concerned because it says here, and that the it says here that I have to pay for that phone, right? But
Hmm.
shouldn't have to do that. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just
Oh, yeah.
whatever. It's just a glitch in the system. I'm like, okay, fine. So I approve that new bill. Okay, fine, great. Then I get a message saying, hey, your new bill is going to be here, and the estimated amount is $1,035. So I call them, like, folks, what's going on?
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's some kind of glitch. I have to transfer you to this other
To the glitch
department
department.
and blah blah blah. Yeah, I got transferred to the glitch department, and again, it was another call about an hour on the phone where they've, nope, everything's gonna be fine. You're all set. You won't get, we didn't credit it right. You're gonna be fine. Then I get a text message. Thanks for your recent payment of $1,035.
That automatically debited from your.
Uh-huh. So I call and I'm like, yeah, how are you doing today? Not really great. Here's the situation. And I said, I know it's not your fault, but I'm a little agitated by this. And the lady on the phone is like, I don't blame you. If that was I would be pissed. I was like, okay, good.
Well, good. We agree.
That's great. So I was on the phone for close to an hour while they figured it out. She's like, "Oh, it says here that they sent the phone back to you." I'm like, "No." And if they did, that's your problem. I shipped you the phone. You told me, I've got the document here saying you accepted the phone in working condition. So if someone took it upon themselves to send it back to me, that's their problem. Charge them the $835 or whatever, not me.
Hmm.
So again, I was told, well, the credit should be there by Friday or Monday. And I'm
Hmm.
like, so I just have to sit here and wait. What about the whole, do I get any sort of like, oh, well, we can just credit your account? Like, no, I don't feel the need to pay my phone bill 4 months in advance. My bill's supposed to be $200, not $1,000. Like, what? No,
Yeah.
so fix that. So I have to call them back on Monday if I don't have the money back by then. And of course, I'm getting ready to go on vacation then, which is just what I want to be doing, spending my time, like griping with Verizon about this. But
Hmm.
I'm just getting more and more used to this. The bigger, the more the companies get larger,
Hmm.
the less they communicate internally and things get dropped and stuff. And like efficiency just goes through the floor. I just don't understand how can this be a good thing? How is growth actually getting anything done? It's like it's nuts.
Yeah.
So uh,
Well, my wife and I have determined that, nobody has it together.
mm-mm,
It
nope,
doesn't matter what the corporation is, nobody has it together.
nope. Oh man.
So since we're on an Apple gripe, it's not, I mean, I suppose it's not an Apple gripe. It's a So my Apple Watch, I have the Ultra, the first Ultra. You have the second Ultra. On mine, I looked at the face and I noticed like this smear, like from running diagonally on it.
Hmm.
And I thought it's like, oh man, I scratched my watch. I was like, oh, I scratched it, and I wiped it, and it went away. So I was like, oh, I just bumped. I rubbed up against something, but kind of like on a car when something scuffs by it, but you wipe your finger on it and it goes away. So I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, I just who knows, nothing to it. Well, a couple weeks later, I look at it again and I see the same line, exactly the same. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So I turned it sideways and I start looking at it in the light and I can see I've got a hairline crack going diagonally across it. And you can't see it if you look straight at it. And if you turn it sideways, you can't see it unless the screen is dirty. So if you take your thumb, any finger, if you take a finger and put a smear across it, then you can see the line. So I called Apple, I was like, well, I paid for full Apple Care on this device. Even if I broke it and I'm responsible for it, I'm fine with that. I'll pay the whatever I've got to pay to get it repaired. You know, I got that. So I contacted Apple and I sent pictures. I showed and I said, it's a hairline crack. You can't see it unless you really look at it at this angle. And I sent the picture and I even took like a highlight on my picture editor and highlighted where the crack was. And they were like, oh yeah, I see it. It's clear right there. I said, yeah, no problem. Here, you'll have to pay them $80 fee. And I was like, okay, no problem. I said, send the box. They said, well, you can either take it to an Apple store or you can ship it to us. I'm like, okay, I'll ship it to you because I don't want to go to an Apple store. I just don't want to take that's
As
where,
as far as going to stores for support, it's generally a pretty good experience relatively, but you're
Mhm.
still going to a store for support.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go. So they sent me a box because it still worked. So I wore it and used it till the box came. I wiped it and put it in the box and sent it to them, and it came back like next day. I opened it up, looks good. So I put it on. Put it on, threw away the box. It was just a little small box. Threw away the box and carried on. And then I looked at my watch as it got dirty. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
the crack's still there. So I contacted Apple and they said, well, yeah, the technician said there was no problem, so they sent it back. I said,
Because they
well,
didn't look at it in the right at the right angle. Look, no, it
it
looks fine.
looks fine. So why? Well, I'm a technician. I am also a technician. Why would somebody take the time to send a device and be without it and it not be broken? But anyway, so I called Apple back. I said, look, here's what happened. They said, well, what's the note in the box say? I said, I don't know. I threw the box away. They sent it back repaired. It looked good, but it really wasn't repaired. And they said, well,
Hmm.
we got to find out. They dug into the note, and that's when they found that the text said, well, there wasn't anything wrong with it. I said, well, there is something wrong with it. And I sent them pictures again.
Again.
Again. And they're like, yep, that's definitely got a hairline crack. They said, well, so your options are to take it to an Apple store, send it back in, or we can just send a replacement. And I said, send a replacement. They said, well, you should have had that option before. I was like, they didn't present that option before, or I
Hmm.
would have taken that option. But, you know,
Hmm.
fine. So they it got sent back, and now I've got my brand new Ultra One.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! But I was paying Apple Care on it, so I didn't I didn't get anything free. I guess I didn't get anything free out of it, but
Yeah.
I was like, it was kind of irritating. It wasn't. It's definitely a first world problem, But
Yeah. Yes.
I scuba dive and I snorkel, and a hairline crack could lead to a real problem.
So this is a safety feature. We're done
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, just water pressure pushing in on it, I think it
Mhm.
eventually break the watch. But so,
Yep.
but anyway, I thought that was interesting, but I was like, come on, support people.
Yeah, I mean, usually if that's the first thing I ask for is like, can you do an advanced swap? I'm like, yes, I understand. I need to give you my credit card. Yes, I need. Okay, yes, you're going to read me the entire thing, Miranda Act here, telling me how if I don't, send it back within so many days and yada yada yada. Okay, fine. Now here, you just take my credit card and ship this thing to me. Okay, fine. Thank
Yeah. Take my credit card. I've got it.
you. So, yeah.
So, but
Uh,
that was all right. So,
yep.
all right. So I talked about the iPhone. So the our last episode,
Yes.
you showed me how to use pivot tables, which
Yes.
I need to look it up. Why in the world do they call it a pivot table?
I have no idea. It's just you're pivoting into your day. No, we're not really pivoting. Pivot. See, and that's one of the reasons I never learned pivot tables because I
Uh-huh.
didn't understand why. Because I assumed you were just transposing. Those of you who are watching the video, you can see just like turning things 90 degrees. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
think of when you say pivot table. Like we're just converting rows to columns, transposing columns to rows, and we're good. But that's not at
Mm-hmm.
all what they do.
Yeah.
So I don't know, a more accurate would be like, analysis, table analysis, drill down. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
it's really making charts from data. And I knew how to do that, but I really didn't know how to do that.
mhm.
I mean, I kind of had some concepts of it, learned in basic, but I mean, I've been doing this career for 27 years, I guess, and never learned to make pivot tables. But I mean, they're really powerful. And I would say that I am, a baby pivot tabler. Uh, but one of the things that I wanted to do was, I've taken over this new position. So now I have these numbers of cities under me, which all have their own set of clients that they originated with. And so I needed to quantify what are the values of these clients. I know
Mhm.
all clients are value, but some of them pay more money than others, and you got to know who the most valuable in revenue are.
Yeah.
And so I was able to take the pivot table and pull all those together and assemble a list and a chart of, who are the most valuable clients. And
Mhm.
that was really cool. I mean, taking a great big spreadsheet full of data and turning it into something visibly useful. I mean,
And you didn't need AI for that.
I didn't need AI for it,
Yep.
but that goes to show AI could do it if I can.
Like, hey AI, tell me who's the most profitable. I mean,
Yeah.
that should be something you should be able to ask. Like, here's a spreadsheet, unpivoted. Show me the most profitable clients out of this. That
I mean,
that would
really
be
should be.
yeah. So. So I have a question. So you said you're interested in the new iOS features. Have you been playing at all with the beta? Do you ever do betas?
I never do betas.
Okay. So
Uh,
I
I'm still
have
on
been.
17. Hmm.
Yeah. I have been, and of course I did it wrong. The first thing I did is I installed the beta on my iPhone SE.
Hmm.
But no, I didn't do that. I have an iPhone SE, which you'd think I would have first installed the beta on, but no,
Hmm.
I installed it on my regular carry phone, my iPhone 14 Pro. And then I installed it on my iPhone SE. And then because I really wanted a calculator app, I installed it on my iPad.
Hmm.
And then I installed the beta on my watch. And while I was at it, then I threw it on Sonoma or Sequoia on my Mac. So I'm fully betaed out
You're
at the
baited
moment.
up.
Everything's a beta at this point. Knock on wood, it's been pretty good. I've discovered some minor bugs, like on Mac OS. None of the built-in applications will open recent documents. Like if you open preview, you can say open or open recent, and it'll show you the
Hmm.
history of recent. They're all blank. There's never anything there. Even though I open documents and close them and quit the program and open it up again. It's like open recent. No, you haven't been looking at anything. Like, oh, okay, thanks. Um, but I played around a little bit with the iPhone mirroring, which is okay. It's kind of cool, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I usually just have my iPhone here. I'd rather just like touch it and do what I wanted to with my hands rather than, moving a cursor to try to move the phone around.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cool new features though is you can now send SMS messages via satellite, which
Oh,
I have
nice.
done with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that is pretty slick because not just for emergencies. This is not just SOS. This is just I'm out in the backwoods in Vermont and I want to say hi to Adam. Take some time, point around, search for signal, find the sky, find your satellite, send a text, and it just
Uh-huh.
works.
That's
It's
cool.
pretty slick. So I like that, but it's gotten me thinking that I might need my Apple Watch Ultra even less because if I'm always going to want to take care or take advantage of satellite, in areas where I don't have any signal,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to be more inclined to carry my phone with me every time I'm out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have my phone with me, I don't need an Apple Watch Ultra because the whole point was the Apple Watch Ultra was supposed to replace the phone. Ah,
Yeah.
unless like an Ultra 3 comes out and then it can do satellite based messaging too. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess,
But
yeah.
I thought that the satellite function was only the emergency side of that was going to be free for a period of time and then
Like
it's going to go away
at
and you
least a
have to pay
year
for
is
it.
supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I mean, I still have it. Maybe I'm paying the fee and I'm not aware.
I've never been charged a fee. No,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, I haven't, I don't think, I think it's just available to everybody. I thought that but again, given that now that it's just going to be part of the built into the regular operating system, I don't think there's going to be a fee for that,
Mm-hmm.
So unless they change their minds, I mean, who
Mm.
knows?
So,
But I can't see why they would charge a fee for the emergency access one and not charge it for anybody for general purpose texting.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So interesting, as an update, I did Audible on my watch and I
Mhm.
had a lot of problems with it. And what I found out, what I have to do is if I want to listen to Audible on my watch, then I need to plan on only listening to that audiobook on my watch. Don't try to do back and forth between the
Yes.
phone and the watch because that's when it
Yes.
gets squirrely and gets out of shape.
Yep.
And the other part of it is if I'm using my Apple AirPods,
Mhm.
um, it can get squirrely there with that too.
Mhm.
So what I have found for best results for me on Audible, if the book hasn't completely downloaded and if I leave my house and get away from my cell phone, like I'm walking the dog, I take
Mhm.
the dog outside, I get 20 30 feet from the house, I can no longer get cell signal and my Bluetooth can no longer hit my phone. If I pull up my Audible, put on my Bluetooth and go, it'll start streaming download. If the book's
Mhm.
not downloaded, it'll stream it until it catches up, and uh, that works fine. And
Yep.
I just need to plan on listening to that book on my watch.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not. I mean, I can swap back and forth if I'm in a desperate place, or like if I'm going to be in my car for 8 hours, I might as well switch to the phone because it's plugged up all the time. But it's better just to listen to it on one device,
Yep.
and it works out.
I've experienced that myself where I start listening on one device and I move to the other and it's like, oh, back to the previous chapter. And I was like,
Ah!
oh, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's annoying.
Mm,
But I wanted to know though, I recently tried something and I've been able to reproduce this a couple of times. I was able to tell my phone, via Siri to create an appointment in a calendar, which it's done before. But I have then was able to move an appointment by Siri. And I don't know if that's something that Siri has had for a long time or if that's a new iOS 18 feature. So I was wondering if you could tell your Siri on iOS 17, because as we've covered, I've already foolishly upgraded all my apps to the beta or all
Mm-hmm.
my devices to the beta. If you could tell it to create an appointment, say make an event called blah at such and such a time,
Mm-hmm.
and then have it change it. I have had it move appointments and I've had to adjust the times from an hour to 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering if that's something that you can do, if it's something that's been there for a long time and I never knew, or if it's something that's new with the version 18.
I so should I? I'll have to give it a try when we're not here on the podcast, and I'll report back. Are you changing it in the native calendar or in like your Office 365 app, the Outlook app?
Whatever your default calendar is where it should go.
Okay.
So I just said, hey Dingus, make a calendar called Podcasting with Peter. Make an event called Podcasting with Peter for today at 3 o'clock. And
All
if you
right.
try
Let's
that, it should just do it.
so I want to see if I can move it, huh? Let's see here.
Yes. So that's what that worked. And I
Hey
wasn't
Siri,
was
move podcasting again to 3:30. Okay.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Sorry, I don't understand. So it brought it up. All right, let me try it again. I'll say the calendar event.
yeah, try that.
Hey Siri, move calendar event podcasting again to 3:30 p.m. today. It pulls up my calendar, but it doesn't.
Yeah. So I think that might be something new that we get out of here. So I'm excited about that.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool being able, because I was driving and I was just like, oh, I forgot to make a thing. So I'm like, hey, blah, make this event. And it did. It's like, you already have an event at 2 o'clock though. This conflicts. I'm like, make it anyway. And then I told it change my 1:30 event called blah to be only 30 minutes. And it's like, okay, it's changed. It goes from 1:30 to 2. I was like, finally, like 10, 12 years later, we're getting the functionality that we thought we might have with Siri. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, like that'd
But
be interesting.
back to the iPhone Pro. So I'm curious because I don't think I need a Pro phone, right? I mean, it's nice because it's better. It's faster than what you have, right? It's going to be faster or better somehow, camera for you, audio for, other things. It's going to have some features that a regular one doesn't have. I get
Mm-hmm.
that. But right now, I looked and functionally an iPhone 14 Pro is pretty darn close to an iPhone 15 in most respects. Not a Pro,
Ooh.
right?
So I'm on.
So, hmm?
Go ahead. I'm on
Yeah.
Mac Rumors. I'm on.
Oh, yeah, yep. Mac rumors. We'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
So my question though is the iPhone 16 going to be enough of an upgrade from an iPhone 14 Pro for me to just go to a 16? Will that have all the features? That's what I'm wondering is will I be able to save a few bucks by staying with the entry level iPhone? I'm curious. I don't know.
Oh, the entry level. Let's see here.
Yes. And the other
So,
part is if what happens with the rumored Apple Watch. Rumors there's going to be an Apple Watch X or Apple Watch 10 or something. And the rumors I've heard is that it might change the charger, which of course now that I have all of my chargers down to USB-C and FireWire and USB-A and Apple Watch, I would need yet another charger maybe, unless it's going to be USB-C also, which I highly doubt. But anyway, so I'm toying with the idea of getting a regular iPhone 16, of course, totally depending on what the specs are when it comes out,
mm-hmm.
and possibly downgrading my Apple Watch to something not so ultra because I just don't take care. The only ultra feature I use is bigger screen. Obviously, I use that every time I look at it. Brighter screen. Okay, I'm using that when I look at it, and better battery life.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've never sounded the alarm. It's got an emergency
Mm-hmm.
siren. I've never even gotten a chance to use it. Never done it. Don't know. So I don't really need a lot of ultra features, but I do recall also that the biggest thing I got out of it was the better battery life. That was like
Mm-hmm. I can
really
go.
nice.
I can go 2 days, no
Yeah.
charge.
But I'm also at the point now where it's like, I do occasionally feel that it's a little um bulky, like when I'm going to bed. It doesn't seem to keep me awake, but
Hmm.
it feels like something a little smaller might be a little more sleep compatible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell me,
So
what got your attention?
so between the two, so 16 and the 16 Pro.
Hmm.
So the size is the same, capture is the same. So the Pro has a relocated wave antenna. I don't know what that means. Uh, 48 megapixel ultra wide lens. That's a big thing for me. 5x optical zoom for it says yes, 5x optical zoom, faster A chip for both of them, and they both support Wi-Fi 7.
And this is all Mac rumors at the moment, right?
Mac rumors, yeah.
Right.
This is not
Yep. It's
actual.
all theoretical.
All theoretical. So let's compare that to our 14 because you and I both have
14 Pro.
14
Hmm.
Pro. They don't show the 14 Pro on here anymore. They only show the old stuff. So
Well, you
6
can get it
point
on Apple, but you have
yeah.
to have two different documents, and it's such a
Hmm.
hassle. Two different windows to compare.
Two windows. Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
So the 14 is 6.1 inches instead of 6.3. Newer, bigger size isn't always that appealing to me. You
Mhm.
know, I don't need a big and the big one's 6.7 inches. That's a huge phone.
Yeah.
A15 chip, car crash detections. This is the first satellite connectivity camera improvements in the Qualcomm X65 modem. So it's going to be a big it should be a lot faster for me to go from the 14 to the 16. So, but yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna keep the Ultra though. I like it.
Hmm.
I don't like the size. Like I said, I would like it to be a little bit smaller,
Yep.
but my other one, I I am less apt to scratch and crack the Ultra because that it's got that
Little
metal going all the way around
protective, yeah, little lip around it. Yep.
little lip.
Yep.
Because I did scratch. I mean, I lightly abraded my Apple Watch prior, and I'd be working on a car or something, and I really should take it off. I'm going to work on a car, but I don't really want to have to do that every time I'm going to reach into anything.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
Like,
hassle. First
yeah,
world problem, but it's a problem.
yeah, like okay, I got to take my watch off because I don't want to scratch it. Then I'm like, I'll have to go with something else.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, overall, I'm very happy with the Ultra. I don't regret it. And as you know, when the Ultra 2 came out, I bought it. I traded in my old Ultra 1 so that I could have the brighter screen and mostly the on-device Siri capability,
mm-hmm,
to be able to process your requests faster than trying to send it all through this horribly slow connection to eventually just fail.
mm-hmm.
So I do like that. So anyway, we'll have to see. But I don't know. But
What do
I'm also considering an upgrade to my laptop this year. So it might be another one of those. Oh, let's just refresh everything.
I know? Because I also I would like to because I am two versions behind on my iPad. So I have the iPad Pro and I'm two behind on that. And I usually give mine down to my girls. So I'll get a new one and then I'll
Mhm.
give so one of my daughters is scheduled to get this one, but I don't really want to buy an iPad and a phone all in
Mhm.
all in the same year. I think
Yeah.
I'll spread the iPad out to next year.
Spread the iPad love at. Well, look at that. You're talking about things that you don't want to buy in the same year. I just had the solar installers up at the house in Vermont yesterday. So my solar panels are there, and now I'm getting quotes on heat pumps.
Hmm.
And these things are not cheap. So, when I put it that way, I'm like, what's another watch?
Hmm. So do you know much about the difference between Wi-Fi 6 and 7?
Basically, more speed, maybe some more security features. I don't even remember.
Yeah. So
Biggest
it's
thing I know I pay attention to is like it's faster. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
great. You know,
2.4 times faster, but you gotta have a Wi-Fi or a device that supports the 7. I
of
just
course.
now got 6.
Hmm.
Actually, I don't have 6. I've got the access point sitting at my house to install.
I've got a mix of Eero devices. I think most of them are Eero 6s, but I think one of the repeaters might be a 5.
Hmm.
Um, I installed those last week. Finally, I went up to Vermont and I finally checked off a bunch of my to-do list items up there. And one of those was to replace the old TP-Link wireless that I had and stick Eeros in
Hmm.
place. And so I did that. I also got a home pod. And so I set that up in Vermont. So I have an Apple Home in Vermont now, as well as down
Yeah.
here. It's kind of nice. I appreciate being able to use that as opposed to the Eufy app to control my cameras up in Vermont.
Hmm.
But I also made some automations. So now when oh, that was the other thing I installed. One of my Lutron switches, because my contractor had gotten around to installing one of those light switches. But that's all I need, because now when I arrive at Vermont after dark, the living room lights turn on.
Nice.
And that's great.
Yeah.
So soon more than just the living room lights will light on. But for now, that's a start. So
Nice.
So yeah, so progress a little bit as we go along.
Hmm.
All right, what else we got? What did we put a pin in last time? Well, we talked about pivot tables, obviously, so we got that down.
Fitbodies.com.
Well, I haven't actually done anything with that one yet, so we can't talk about that yet.
Okay. I don't know. Well, I need
I
to.
left the pin in that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know for me personally, I've been really out of my rhythm of working out, and I've got to get back in.
Mhm. I'm
Yeah.
getting back. I today is a rest day for me.
Hmm.
I it's pretty nice outside, but it got a little hot in the afternoon.
Hmm.
So I ended up not doing anything. And I was like, you know what, I'll try to follow the plan. But my plan's gonna get completely shot when I go on vacation, in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. Like, do I want to get a little more in while I still can? Or
Hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it'll be interesting. I'm hoping to get some running in the countryside in Germany and Switzerland and stuff. So
Hmm.
maybe run around to the Eiffel Tower and stuff. So when we're in
Nice.
Paris, it should be fun. So,
Well, one thing that I found, so I have YouTube Premium,
yep,
or
ad free.
ad free. So
Yep, that's
I've got
premium.
the
Yep,
ad free, but
same.
not like YouTube TV, but the
Totally different.
just the YouTube.
I don't
And
remember, does YouTube TV include YouTube Premium?
I don't think it does.
It's just your
Maybe it does,
channels and stuff. Yeah,
but maybe they've even updated it.
yeah.
But one of the things that I found in there is there are hit workouts, high intense
Hmm.
workouts, 20 to 35 minutes, depending
Hmm.
on what you're really looking for. And I've been doing those when I travel because I can just pull it up on my iPad, set it there,
Hmm.
and do a decent workout with no equipment, and puts a good sweat on.
That's cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
And you don't do Apple Fitness Plus?
I think I do own Apple Fitness Plus because I
Yep.
think I think I got Apple One
Yep.
and it's in there, but I've not done any of those workouts. Have you?
I have, and I had it for a while because, like, when I bought my watch, either my watch or one of my iPhones or my iPad, one of them included a subscription to Apple Fitness Plus, and
Mm-hmm.
I tried the free, 30-day trial or 90-day trial, whatever it was. I liked it, but I decided, like, for me at the time, I was really only interested in the yoga workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do. And then I was like, okay, but I also have a yoga membership where I teach, and that's free. And I know these teachers and I like their workouts. So why should I pay for that also? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do anything with that. But now also, I've got my running and I have my physical therapy I need to do, and I have my my strength training routine.
Hmm.
I don't think I have room for any other stuff at the moment. Just
I,
trying to get all of those in every week is a challenge as it is. So as
yeah.
much as I'd like to throw some hit in there too, I don't think I can.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, and I do, I mean, I walk every day. I mean, if I don't get to the gym, I do either yoga. Well, I always walk. I walk twice a day because I got the dog. The dog's
Right.
got to walk.
Yep.
So, I mean, it kind of forces me. So
Yep.
I do a mile and a quarter every day, well, twice a day.
Yep.
So then I get that, and then if I get my CrossFit workout, and I've just got to get that back in to where my strength training is active. I mean, I'm an active person, but strength training is important.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
No, absolutely. I think the Fitness Plus, though, that's only included in the premier level.
Okay.
So you have to pay like twice as much as the entry level. I don't know which one you have. We have the
Yeah.
family plan through Verizon because it was cheaper to do that and go Apple One.
Hmm.
But I also I pay for extra iCloud storage despite that.
Hmm.
So, on top of that. But Fitness Plus, I think that comes with only, the premier plan.
All
So,
right. Yeah, I've got Apple Fitness Plus.
there you go. Then you've got it.
I've got it.
Oh, you mean you have the app or you have it part of your subscription?
It's part of my subscription.
Oh, well,
So
there you
I've got
go.
Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Apple News Plus, Apple
Yeah.
Fitness
Well,
Plus.
you should try that out too.
Yeah, I give
You know,
that a go.
because they've definitely, I'm sure they have hit stuff like that, but yeah. See what you got.
Groovy.
Cool.
All
Maybe they have
right.
pivot tables too.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, I think I need to wrap it up because we're at the end of the hour and I've got some people trying to get a hold of me.
Sounds good. You do that, and listener, while Adam's trying to get a hold of, if you want to be one of those people who's trying to get a hold of Adam, you can find us at blurringthelinespodcast.com. And that's the best way to find us. You can find us at other places, but that's the best. So just
Yeah,
just
that's
go
the
there.
best.
You can find us there. You can't find us on, well, maybe you can still find Adam with his old handle and stuff, but I don't know if he's still operating that or not. But just
Yeah,
go there,
it's
and then that's all you need.
yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
And with that, Adam, would you like to do the honors?
I'm gonna hit that big red button.